Hey Reds! Saturday kicked off with bombs dropping at Anfield. Fabrizio Romano has just confirmed the green light for a return nobody expected after a brutal decision by Arne Slot. And it doesn't stop there. The price of Salah's replacement has been revealed, and the $100 million figure has left clubs in shock. Stay with me until the end because what's happening behind the scenes right now is huge. Drop a like and let's get into the news. Liverpool saw Manchester City step in and hijack the deal, prompting the club to react aggressively in the market and target an even bigger name to strengthen the defense. The loss of the target was not just technical, but symbolic. Internally, the reaction was immediate. Arne Slot made it clear to the board that he didn't just want a defensive replacement, but the definitive center-back to lead the club's new era. The name he put forward left no room for debate: Micky van de Ven. That choice didn't come out of nowhere. Slot's obsession with the Dutch defender goes back years. During his time at AZ Alkmaar, he tried to convince Van de Ven to take his first major steps under his guidance when the player was still emerging at Volendam. Years later, at Feyenoord, Slot pushed again for the signing, but the defender chose the Bundesliga instead, joining Wolfsburg before eventually moving to Tottenham. Now, in 2026, after winning the Premier League in 2025 and with full backing from the board, Slot finally has the political and financial power to make the third attempt decisive. Behind the scenes, a quiet network of connections has accelerated the talks. Micky van de Ven is represented by José Fortes Rodriguez, the same agent as Ryan Gravenberch, a key figure in Liverpool's current midfield. In addition, the defender is in frequent contact with Virgil van Dijk and Cody Gakpo during international duty with the Netherlands. People close to the player confirm he has already informed Tottenham that he intends not to renew his contract, which runs until 2029, and sees Anfield as the ideal destination to become, in the medium term, the natural heir to Van Dijk in the Reds' defense. On the London side, the stance is firm, as is tradition under Daniel Levy. Tottenham have set a fixed price just to consider letting their main defender go, £100 million. If a deal is completed on those terms, Van de Ven would become the most expensive defender in football history, surpassing the $80 million Manchester United paid for Harry Maguire. For FSG, the investment is seen as strategic and sustainable, considering the player's age, just 24, and his extremely rare physical profile in modern football. On the pitch, Van de Ven's impact would be immediate. Left-footed, incredibly fast, and excellent in build-up play, he fits perfectly into Arne Slot's high-line system, allowing Liverpool to switch between a back three or back four without losing solidity. With the possible departure of Andrew Robertson to Tottenham, his arrival would symbolize a complete defensive restructuring for the coming years. More than a record-breaking signing, the move represents a statement of ambition and strength, showing the market that Liverpool are willing to break records and plan boldly to stay at the top of world football. Liverpool were surprised this Saturday by news that completely changes the club's plans for the rest of the season. Fabrizio Romano confirmed that the Reds have received the final green light for the immediate return of Kostas Tsimikas to Anfield, an emergency move that exposes the end of an era and the beginning of a deep restructuring under Arne Slot. The decision is directly linked to the imminent departure of Andy Robertson, a recent club icon and pillar of the left-back position for years. The Scot has lost ground with the rise of Milos Kerkez, and with the 2026 World Cup approaching, has made it clear he will not accept a secondary role. Tottenham have advanced with what is considered an aggressive offer, and internal sources indicate Robertson has already said goodbye to his teammates in order to seek immediate prominence in London, bringing a historic cycle at Anfield to an end. Faced with this scenario, Liverpool were forced to act quickly. With no time to spend millions on a winter signing, the board, led by Richard Hughes, turned their attention to Kostas Tsimikas, who was on loan at Roma. Despite there being no recall clause in the loan deal, Liverpool opened direct talks with the Italian club, and the outcome was confirmed by Romano. Roma agreed to release the player immediately. The move carries even more weight due to Tsimikas' own stance. At 29, the fullback had been playing regularly in Serie A, making 16 appearances this season and playing an important role for Roma. Even so, when Liverpool came calling, he didn't hesitate. The Greek made it clear that Anfield has always been his priority and accepted giving up his status in Italy to return and serve the club where he built a strong bond with the fans. According to Fabrizio Romano, the deal is practically done, with all terms agreed between the parties. Liverpool sees Tsimikas' return as a strategic move, bringing back a player who knows the club's DNA, is respected in the dressing room, and offers immediate security to a position losing one of its greatest symbols. More than a simple market move, the decision marks the definitive end of the Andy Robertson era and the sacrifice of a loyal player to keep Liverpool competitive at the highest level of the Premier League. The European market was shaken this Saturday by an asking price that put Premier League giants on red alert. Liverpool, in the midst of a rebuild under Arne Slot, entered the race for Yan Diomande, the 19-year-old Ivorian gem from RB Leipzig, but ran straight into a fee considered astronomical. The German club have set the attacker's price at €100 million, creating an immediate impasse and putting Liverpool, Manchester United, and Tottenham on a collision course. Diomande is viewed internally as the biggest current prospect in the Bundesliga. In just 6 months at Leipzig, the young winger has already recorded 7 goals and 4 assists in 18 matches, standing out for his explosive pace, close control, and ability to decide big games. His performances have drawn direct interest from Richard Hughes and the Anfield scouting department, who see him as a player capable of taking on immediate responsibility in attack. Liverpool's need is clear. With Mohamed Salah's future uncertain and following the departure of Luis Diaz, Arne Slot is looking for a versatile player who can operate on both wings and restore unpredictability to the attack. For the coaching staff, Diomande is not just a gamble, but a potential direct successor to keep the club competitive at the top of European football. According to Lyle Thomas of Sky Sports, the €100 million asking price has temporarily cooled interest during this January window. Liverpool, Manchester United, and Tottenham all stepped back due to the figure, which also caused frustration among other giants such as Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain. Even so, behind the scenes, Liverpool have not ruled out the deal. Richard Hughes' strategy is to closely monitor the situation with a view to a summer move, when Leipzig may become more flexible. On the other side, Manchester United are also tracking the player closely, under pressure to add attacking quality and dealing with Amad Diallo's absence due to the Africa Cup of Nations. The question at Anfield is whether FSG will be willing to break records to secure Salah's possible successor. The $100 million war is only just beginning. Liverpool fans, do you think the club should pay $100 million for Yan Diomande to prepare for the post-Salah era, or is that fee too high for a 19-year-old? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching until the end. See you next time.